All right, so I guess we are going to just go live randomly. Well, just in case anybody just so happens to get here pretty late. Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are located currently in the world. Um, a little bit of impromptu live stream at this moment in time. Um, so this is where we are, right? At this moment in time when dealing with the events at hand, right? And I can already hear, black people in the wind. I've already seen them in the comment section on Twitter and everywhere else. Will won't sit up there and do this to this Caucasian individual. He's not going to do that, you know. But this is why I've stated before that for men there needs to be limitations that, in a sense, are set, right? Because when you just so happen to don't, you don't set those limitations, this is when you start having other people start running real wild at the mouth, feeling that they can, say any, types of things, about your wife, right? So you got this true American right here. And this is by way of brother Tariq Nasheed, right? He had posted on Twitter. And you have this alabaster individual that decided to state this, and I had to block out, of course, some of the wording, right? This woman been bald. Joke about it, or her jokes about her are fine. It was tame. You super sensitive about it? Question mark. Buy a quote unquote wig, right? So, firstly, the word that I blocked out. Of course, he called her a female dog, right? And let's note that this is a true American talking about a black woman. And as I've stated to you guys previously in other videos and showcase some other things, where a lot of these other, black women out there who have their preference, in which they say can do no wrong, they will get on social media and they will start degrading black women. And you're not going to, like I said, you're not going to have those black women who prefer Caucasian individuals. You're not going to have them body blocking for black women. They're not going to stand up for Jada, a black woman who was married to a black man, and they have a black family, and everybody in that whole family is successful and wealthy. Those same women aren't going to flock to that page and body block for Jada. They're going to go over this, and they're going to look past this, and they're going to sit up there and go into the next thing that deals with black men doing something negative. And then we're going to also have black people, like I stated before, showing up, and they're going to start saying the same thing that they've been saying. Hey, like I seen in my comment section, I seen some people try to bring up The Rock and Mike Tyson. I've seen people bring up list of all other comedic celebrities, right? And like, oh, but Will wouldn't do this to them, and he wouldn't do it. Like I said before, you're bringing in what ifs. You're trying to stand on a certain type of point on a reality that doesn't even exist. So, because that reality doesn't exist, you're going to try to make it exist and make it fathomable so that your stance, in a sense, can be proven, which doesn't make any sense at all. Doesn't make any sense at all. And, like I said, for me, I've always stated that limitations need to be set. Uh, Even Dave Chappelle, who is a great comedian, world renowned, people have watched his show, right? People love his show. People, do skits and a variety of different things from the Chappelle show. He stated a multitude of times that he has come to people, depending on what the joke is, he has come to people and, said certain things, directly to them to see if, certain things are okay, certain things are not. Like I said, Dave Chappelle is funny, but he's logical and he is in the realm of common sense, right? So, like I said, I don't know what else to sit up there and tell people. I've never seen at a point in time, where I can go online and I see black people talking about calling the police on another black man and him getting charged, white people talking about calling the police and getting him charged, and then white people siding with a black person saying that, yeah, you need to call the police and do X, Y, and Z. When I see all of that basically happening online, I'm like, huh? I'm like, so wait a minute. So wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that at this point in time, that both black and white people just so happen to agree on something, but the only time that is possible is when it deals with an interaction that two black men basically had? Ah, that's that's it's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. Um, let me see. What do you say? Oh, you said what? Do you think that Chris Rock didn't know about her condition? I just got here. The main thing that I do know about, I got you. Let me post it up there. Um my thing that I understand to an extent when it comes to comedians is that they do their research, right? Where they have knowledge of certain things. This is how they're able to actually talk about those things, right? So, case in point, when you look at Cat Williams in his earlier stand up, and he was talking about the parties, he was talking about the mansion parties, he was talking about the celebrities and the things that they were doing and stuff like that. He wasn't talking about stuff that he made up. He was talking about stuff that he actually was there looking at, stuff that he has seen, stuff that he was around, right? And seeing other people engage in these activities. So I'm just going out on a limb and just trying to state that I feel that in order to be a comedian, to be a smart one, you would have to do your research on certain things. So I can assume, right, going off of that line, that Chris Rock would have had to have known or done some type of research or seen some type of videos or a mention of this, right? So that's how I'm going about it. Because the main things that I've learned about comedians is that they do research. They have knowledge on a variety of topics because they have to. Because when they do stand up, anything can happen. It's the wild, wild west. Somebody in a crowd can sit up there and start up with you. And if you know like different regions in the world and different, religions and all that other type of stuff, you can easily snap back at somebody real quick and shut them up. That's what comedians are very good at doing. They can think very quick on their feet. They have a huge knowledge base when it comes to a lot of information. And they have to also be able to retain this information because that is a part of their craft, right? So that's how I'm going about it. I'm looking at Chris Rock as a smart comedian. And as a smart comedian, you have to sit up there and do the work necessary in order to craft your jokes in a certain type of way. In order to craft your jokes in a certain type of way, that means you have to have a certain type of knowledge base, right? You have to have, certain information, right? Usually in order to craft jokes where you know that it's going to get a specific reaction out of a crowd, right? So, like I said, that's how, I'm looking, directly at that instance of Chris Rock telling that joke. But like I said before, I've stated before that there should be, in a sense, some type of limitations when it comes to, certain types of things. Now, I've seen some people before online, they'll sit up there and say, like, oh, the generation is weak. People can't, really take anything anymore and da 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 da. Well, the thing that happens is times change. So I'll put it to you like this, case in point, right? A while ago, people used to say certain types of slurs, right, that dealt with a very specific community, right? And this was prevalent throughout a variety of communities, right? But look what happened when those people stood up and they decided to say, like, yo, we're tired of y'all basically saying this. We find it as derogatory. We don't find it laughable. and we find it disrespectful and you're going to respect us, guess what everybody did? They started respecting them because they stood directly on that ground. And on top of standing on that ground, they also put laws in place to make sure that this wouldn't happen ever again. And guess what? People are respecting those laws because ain't nobody trying to get arrested for saying something that will make them be considered phobic, right? And that especially includes the black community. Notice how, let's say about like 10 years ago, right? In somewhat some conversations, you would hear that type of wording, mentioned here or there. But magically, like I said, that wording, when it comes to lingo, has died down. And this goes into the whole effect of what I'm about to say here when it deals with this true American coming after a black woman and saying this online. The reason why these things are able to transpire is because black people as a whole have never drawn a line telling people where it is that you can cross and where it is that you can't. So this is why true Americans like Tom here, he's able to say these types of things online to black women, and that's it in a sense, right? He's going to get his likes, he's going to get his type of notoriety and different things like that, and people are going to sit up there and in a sense quietly side with Tom. Why? Because they're going to be like, well, I dislike the Smith family. I dislike what Will did. I dislike, what Jada has been doing in her marriage. And I'm going to highlight that key point, her marriage, their marriage, not yours. So, like I said, people need to separate the whole thing of feeling personal about a situation versus just having a simple opinion about something, because it's like a lot of people out here are getting a little bit too caught up in this, where it's almost seeming like you're talking about family or somebody that you actually know, something that you're actually emotionally involved with, and nobody is emotionally involved with Will and Jada's marriage but Will and Jada. Those are the only two people that can realistically 100% speak on with facts about their marriage. People on the outside can say something because they've been divvied out a little bit of information. But like I said before, if it came to a conversation, like if Will and Jada had to literally sit the world and have a conversation about their marriage to the world would be shutting up because they don't really know much. They only know what Will and Jada decide to sit up there and tell them, right? But like I said before, because you have a lot of people at this point in time, like, well, I'm not fans of Will and Jada. I don't like Will and Jada, this, that, and the third. Yet again, you're going to have a lot of people siding with people like Tom who are online right now disrespecting a black woman, calling her directly out of her name, and people are going to allow it. Why? Because they don't like the Smith family. They don't like what Jada has been doing. They don't like what Jada has been saying. But I could swear at the end of the day, is this not a black woman who is married to a black man that has a black family and they're successful? So isn't this in a sense, regardless on however we feel, personally about their marriage or what it is that they're personally doing with their relationship, is this not at the end of the day a black woman who should, in a sense, get defended? Because like I said before, I don't know where we are at this moment in time when it comes to the black community. This is, in a sense, more than politics and racism. This is the most divided I've actually seen the black community in a very long time. And it's crazy. It's actually, like quite insane to actually think about, right? Because we have so many other high issues, high priority issues, right, that the black community should be talking about, that the black community should be looking at. And no, I'm not talking about Russia and Ukraine. I realistically don't even care, like I stated to you before. Matter of fact, let me just bring up uh a comment that somebody decided to make online before, and it specifically deals with this topic right here. Let me see if I can actually find it for you guys. Um, where did it go? Did I actually download it? I don't think. Actually, let me actually go back. Let me see if I can find this real quick for you guys. While you guys are sitting up there, chatting it up in the comment section in the moment at the moment. Let me see if I can find this for you guys. You mean to tell me? Okay, there we go. This is the one right here. Let me just put this down here. Download this real quick here. Do that. Go back to this here. All right. So, like this one right here. Right. So, we got, let me just push this directly over. So, we got true Americans out here saying that, basically violence should never be normalized. That's just how it continues to rise every day. Now, the funniest thing, like I said before, magically, I've seen so many people online talk about, oh my God, I'm appalled. Kids were watching this and such and such and such. But it's like you allow your kids to see you get like knocked down by your drunkard of a husband every single day. You allow your kids to sit up there and see you get beaten down and hear you get talked down, a multitude of times, get disrespected in front of your kids. But you're acting like what happened directly at this award show with the gods of Mount Olympus. You acting like this is going to affect your everyday life. You're acting like this is going to impede on your child's development and their growth. But yet you have two European countries that are taking the lives of each other, but you got the nerve to sit up there and try to talk about what Will did. Violence should never be normalized. That's just how it continues. Wars have been continuing since you have been here on this planet. And you got the nerve to sit up there and try to make it seem like with Will and Chris Rock, basically that issue right there, you're making it seem like it's the largest. You acting like World War IV just happened. Like, like I said before, looking at a lot of the comments and the reactions, and to an extent, I understand, right? A lot of people say that, it could have been handled better. I get that. I understand that. And, people will handle things how they decide to sit up there and handle those things. I'm pretty sure that if everybody looks at their life, they'll look back and look at some stuff and they'll be like, I could have handled that a lot better. I'm pretty sure everybody that's judging Will right now and how he handled this situation so openly, I promise you, nobody in the existence of mankind has handled all of their situations properly into a textbook T. I promise you. I promise you, especially when it deals with family. I know, and especially black people. Let's just keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. There's a multitude of times that y'all sit up there and talk to y'all family all types of sideways, that y'all want to sit up there and fight them. Y'all want to do this, that, and the third. But y'all want to roll up here on social media and act like y'all been doing everything 100%. Y'all want to act like y'all ain't made no mistakes. Will made a mistake, right? That's what everybody's basically, saying, like, hey, Will sat up there and did this. All right, if we're going to sit up there and go at a certain length, I'm going to take it from this. Will sat up there and made a mistake because he was emotional. He was caught up in a situation and he ended up reaching his breaking point. And everybody was able to see a man falter on what, he basically built for himself, right? Will stated on stage, he was like, I did so much to try to build stuff, on love, and different things of that nature. And he stated, like, he basically faltered on that. He stated that, I failed, on that message. That's a man admitting that he made a mistake, right? And that's what men are supposed to do. It's like if an interaction happened, it's like, all right, just admit that you were wrong. He did that. Most men can't even admit when they're actually wrong, because you have a lot of men that are too prideful and too driven, too ego driven to basically see, which way is right and which way is wrong. Right. So the way I'm going to sit up there and look at it is Will sat up there and made a mistake. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the black community, even still right now, as we speak, are still currently making mistakes repeatedly, day after day after day after day. So, like I said before, regardless on however people sit up there and want to sit up there and view it, that's how I'm going to sit up there and cut it. Will made a mistake that day, and it's going to, shine negatively on, in a sense, his legacy and his name. But as a man, it's going to be up for him to sit up there and fix that mistake if possible. It's going to be up to him to come back from that if possible. There's a lot of men out here who have made a multitude of mistakes and who are still making mistakes. They still never recover from the first mistake. But you got a multitude of men out here judging Will for a mistake that he made openly. That's very beautiful to be able to do, due to the fact that you got the anonymity to make your mistakes behind closed doors, to make your mistakes where there are no cameras active. So you have full-fledged anonymity and right to sit up there and say, oh yeah, Will was wrong. I would have never did that. I would have. Like I said, I can go through my comment section. I can go through Twitter, and this is what I sit up there and see from people in the Black community. And I'm like, but how many mistakes have you made that you still haven't come back from? That you're still reliving, that you still didn't forgive yourself directly for, that you still haven't gotten forgiveness for. But like I said before, as a Black community, we are very much prepared to crucify and to hang up our own people so quickly, oh so quickly, over just this mistake. And then we got Black people sitting up there saying like, yo, Will Smith sat up there and put us back, put Black men back so far. Let me sit up there and correct people on that, right? If you want to talk about Will Smith setting people back, he didn't set people back. If anything, he might have set himself back. The Black community as a whole has done a well enough job, a perfection of a job of setting Black people back. Let's look at the entertainment industry. Let's look at the music industry. Let's look at rap. Let's look at what men and women, Black men and women, are rapping about: sex, money, and drugs. The same thing that has been rapped about since the 90s, in a portion of the late 80s. And we're still perpetuating that exact same language. And because we still perpetuate that exact same language, people wonder why the kids are messed up. It's because they're listening to the language of a previous generation who decided not to correct what it is that they were putting out. So we're still talking about Will Smith setting back the Black community. How about this? Even as I speak at this moment in time, the Black community as a whole are not practicing generational wealth. They're not practicing financial literacy. They're not really doing much of anything to sit up there and get their 40 acres and a mule. A lot of Black people ain't really trying to start businesses, not trying to get a DBA or an LLC. They're not trying to sit up there and save money. They're not trying to figure out ways on how not to sit up there and pay taxes like the rich so that they can keep more money in their bank account instead of being born in debt. And yeah, I'm going to repeat that one more time. For the Black people that are directly out there, I'm sorry, let me just put this in a generalized fashion, right? For all the human beings that are directly out there, when you're born on this planet, you're born into debt, whether you know it or not. Before you even have a bank account, before you even have, in a sense, technically any type of money, or let alone a name, you're already in debt. Your ID, right, is your social security card, right, along with your birth certificate, because both of those have numbers directly on it. Like I said, if people would actually sit up there and do their research, they would learn quite a bit about themselves. So no matter how free a lot of us think that we're realistically not free, because we're still attached by way of that birth certificate, and especially that social security number. Those little black little digits that you have on the bottom of your social security card. Just take your time, go into your wallet and look at your social security card and look at those numbers. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find my wallet. I just had it actually on me. Can't seem to actually find it right now. But if you go and you look at your social security card, wherever my wallet is right now, you'll see those numbers that are directly on the back. And those are linked to a whole nother entity. If you want to find out more information on that, you can clearly go do the research yourself. I'm just here to just impart a little bit of that information. So I don't care who you are. If you're Black and you're here at this moment in time and you feel that you are free and that you're different from everybody else because you know scriptures, you know this, you know that, if you got a birth certificate and a social security number, you are just as attached to this system, no matter what knowledge that you have, just like everybody else. Like I said, Black people are so divided, we don't even need, in a sense, white people to do anything. We do it directly for them. They just sit back and enjoy the show. That's all they got to do. Like I said, and I've been stating this for years, this is what psychological warfare directly looks like. You can point it directly out to black people, and black people be like, no, no, that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. Okay, I got you. That doesn't exist. But when the government tells you that aliens exist, now black people are like, oh my God, it's other life exists. I have to start questioning everything now. Everything that I know is completely wrong. So why is it wrong now? Because in a sense, the same people that gave you the Bible are the same ones that tell you that something exists, when realistically all the information about religion and stuff they got from you originally. Woo! Oh man, let me tell you, this is it's funny out here. It is a very funny time at this moment in time, um, when dealing with black people, because you can decide to put out a lot of information, and black people will still decide not to listen. But the main time that black people listen is when something happens with black people. So, you're going to see a lot of videos talking about Will and Jada, because that's the hottest thing right now. And especially it had to do with black people. And like I told people before, let me go back into what I've been saying for years. If this was two Caucasian celebrities that did this, it technically it would be news, but it's not going to, in a sense, really be as hot. But because it technically, in a sense, because it is quote unquote a crime that took place, what does that mean, kids? Black on black crime. And what does black on black crime mean? Not a damn thing. But it means that the media and everybody else can actually profit off of whatever black people are sitting up there doing. It doesn't matter if it's negative or if it's good. If they can put black on black crime on it, they're going to be sitting up there putting the best commercials. They're going to have the highest paying advertisers. They're going to be running this into the ground up until they can't run it no more. And then they're going to sit up there and remix it and run it some more. You know what's going to sit up there and happen? Black people are going to sit up there and eat it up like we always do. And this goes back to what I stated to y'all before. The Coliseum is open. I've been saying this since the pandemic started, and people didn't even pay attention. And this is what I'm talking about. Let me show you a trail real quick. And this is just a quick one. I ain't even trying to like get into specifics. I'm just going to go into the major stuff, right? So we had a pandemic for the majority of the time, right? Everything was closing down, everything was shutting down, right? During that time, somewhere in between the pandemic, people started stop looking at their phones, and they started actually looking at people as people, human beings as human beings, and they started looking at the world and realizing how jacked up it is and how the people that are controlling it are messing it up, and they've been messing it up for a very long time, right? So once that basically took place, the people that are in control, right, those families, they're like, you know what, this ain't really looking too good. It's getting a little bit too hot in this kitchen. We got to start opening stuff back up. So this is when they started offering people like, hey, we got Super Bowl tickets if you do this. You'll get airline mileage if you do this. You can get gas. You can get donuts. You can get food. You can get free groceries. You can go to the strip club. You can sit up there and get a prostitute. You can do this. You can do that. They were literally trying to market this like nothing I've ever seen in life. And then also before that, right, when everything was shut down, when the Coliseum was closed, when you didn't have the games running, it was no football, no basketball, MLB, all of that stuff was pretty much quiet, right? People were actually paying attention to human beings. They were paying attention to the epidemic that was happening, which was called police brutality, which is still happening at this current time. And once people started paying attention to that and started actually calling out the United States, and I'm not just solely talking about people in the United States talking about, but you had people around the world actually protesting, calling out the United States, trying to find a resolution to stop the madness that is going on, right? So then once all of that happened, they started opening things back up because they were like, you know what, we can't have all of these divided people coming together and sitting up there focusing on something and trying to actually fix it. We can't do that. We're the ones that's supposed to divvy out the fixing, right? We're going to sprinkle some salt on it and call it a day. We're not going to sit up there and really fix nothing, right? And the reason I said sprinkle salt is because salt is also a killer as well, right? So I'll continue. So after that, they opened back up the Coliseum. They let people do their normal stuff and different things like that. And then they sit up there and say, well, it seems like the numbers are kind of dying down, right? It seems like everything is pretty much going back to normal. So what do they need to hype things back up? Up, here comes Russia and the Ukraine. Wow, we got a war. But what happened to the pandemic? What just happened? This thing is taking everybody out. This is the main focus that the whole world should be focused on at this moment in time. But now we got a war, and everybody's now focused on the war. So now anything else before that, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even exist now. I'm like, huh, ain't that interesting how that can basically take place? And it seems as though everybody is just going with the flow as if it's normal. Like they're just waiting for like the next thing to basically show up. So let's see what shows up. Now you got the Oscars, right? Because technically it got to the point where people were kind of dying down on really caring about the news about Russia and the Ukraine, because I guess nothing much is really happening or coming from it. They're waiting for that next big thing to really jump off from that, right? So then we're like, yeah, we probably need something else. So then we have this. We have the Oscars, right? And this is the hottest thing that everybody's basically talking about, right? Like I keep telling y'all, the Coliseum is open. The Coliseum is clear cut open. And this is going to be another way that the media is going to be able to profit off of Black people. This is also going to be another way of how you'll have a lot of Caucasians out there being able to justify why it is that Black people can't go places and this, that, and the third, and different things of that nature. Like I said, it is what it is. But I also say this to say this. These are people that are amongst the gods, right? They are on Mount Olympus, right? These are the rich. These are part of the 5 to the 1%, right? So you're basically looking at rich people fighting. And I'm like, realistically, does Chris Rock and Will Smith really have any type of weight on my living situation? Do they have any type of weight on my bills? Do they have any type of weight on my housing? Do they have any type of weight on the food that I'm going to sit up there and eat, or how I'm going to be able to get that food or cook it? Do they have any weight on how it is that I'm going to be able to survive? No, they don't. They do not. Not at all. So like I said, for me, this is in a sense a great conversation piece, in a sense, but it's not in a sense realistically news. There's certain things that I can touch on in the topic, but it's not something that I plan on focusing on for the next 6 months. Because like I said before, people have very short attention spans. If you don't believe me, if you have an IG or if you have TikTok or you like to watch shorts, you're within that bracket of short attention span. Because people don't really like watching and sitting and watching stuff for about like, more than a minute, if not a little bit more. Once it starts getting to about that 60-minute mark, people start like itching, like they need a fix. It's like, yeah, I can't stay on this. I got to sit up there and go to the next one. I need something a little bit shorter, and that's way more funnier. And that's what content has basically gone directly to. Like I said, everything is fixed to a certain point. It goes into different things. I'm pretty sure I'm going all over the place at this moment in time, but everything has a point. Everything has a point. And going back to what I stated earlier about limitations and a line being drawn, I'm going to repeat myself again. For all the Black people out there, the reason why Black people are always disrespected is because Black people don't respect themselves. We can list ourselves as individuals, we can list ourselves as variables, but realistically, the world sees Black people as a whole. They're not going to look at you as an individual because they can care less about you as an individual. They can care less about you as an individual, family, couple, whatever it is. They judge on a whole, right? Because let's just say if another race or a species, intergalactic, right, came from a whole nother galaxy, do you think that they're going to judge everybody by just like an individual base? No, they're going to judge it as what? The human race. And they're going to sit up there and say that we're violent. They're going to sit up there and say that we're divided and divisive and this, that, and the third. So I'm just listening that for a lot of people, because a lot of people like to say that I'm an individual, I'm this, I'm that. That's great. The whole world doesn't care about your individuality. They don't. They do not. They do not. Maybe if you're talking on a person-to-person basis, sure. But as a whole, they do not. This is why you still have blackface rampant in a lot of other countries. They're not doing this on an individual to individual basis. No, they're doing this to Black people as a whole. So like I said before, all that individuality, I can't even say it word, being all of that thing of having the individual ism. Somebody could probably write the word down at this moment in time, trying to get my thoughts right. But all of that trying to be individual, like I said, it does not matter at the moment in time. It just doesn't. So, like I said right here, when you look at all of the alabaster individuals, right, that are speaking on Will Smith, they're speaking on black people as a whole. They're using him as an example, but they're talking about black people as a whole. They're like, oh man, I just sat up there and saw this fight. Call the police, call the police, call the police. Like I said before, I've never seen at a point in time where black people are like, yeah, I'm agreeing with white people and saying that the LAPD needs to be called directly on Will Smith. I'm like, whoa, whoa, where are we at right now? We're on a whole different frame. If people, like I said before, if people do not see an issue with that, I don't know what to sit up there and tell you. Because the funny part is, when it comes to certain topics that I've covered dealing with the black community, I've heard a lot of black people. They're like, yo, man, Seji's like, I get what you're saying, but it's like, yo, man, this ain't a good look. It's like you talking about our business and in front of everybody else, and we should be talking about this behind closed doors. We've been talking about business behind closed doors and ain't nothing been getting done. Ain't nothing been getting done. This is why people still got that touchy-feely uncle within their family. This is why they still got a lot of other issues happening and why daughters end up being screwed up, because people keep having things behind closed doors and they want to keep things as secrets instead of putting it directly out there and letting other family members know, like, hey, don't allow your daughters around this such and such uncle, because this is the type of stuff that he likes to do. And then because it's kept secret, this is why the other men in the family that would normally actually do something about this, nothing has ever been done, because somebody is there holding that secret. Who do you think is sitting there holding that secret? Like I said, this is what happens. This is the type of harm that takes place when you want to quote unquote handle stuff behind closed doors, when you want to quote unquote have it in secret and different things of that nature. Like I said, regardless of however black people do things, at the end of the day, black people are always going to be wrong. Case in point, I put it to you like this, right? I think it was like P. Diddy or Kobe. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, right? It was a while ago. I think it was Diddy. He said, I'm paraphrasing. He said, happy birthday to, or happy Mother's Day to all the black mothers, right? And then you had an alabaster woman saying that, why would you just say that to just the black mothers? What about all women? What about all mothers? And he said what he said. He said, happy birthday to the black mothers out there. His mother is black, right? So he's going to go to the person that brought him into this life, that carried him for such and such months, that was with him, that took care of him, that loved him, that supported him. He's going to go for that. Any black man worth his salt that has a black mother is going to sit up there and do that. But if you are a person of a mixed relationship, of course you're going to sit up there and talk about, hey, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, or happy Mother's Day to your mother. Like I said before, whenever black people do something, at the end of the day, it's going to be wrong no matter what. There is no right or wrong way how black people can handle anything. It's just not. It's just not. So, like I said, it's completely crazy. A lot of people, a lot of black people in the community said, like, if I got a situation with somebody, I'm going to handle it on site. Well, guess what? We'll handle it on site. And now those same black people are like, oh man, we'll handle that wrong. He shouldn't have did. What? What just happened? What just happened? You just said that if you know somebody has wronged you, or they're doing that directly to you in front of your face, you're going to handle that on site. And now all of those same people talking about, nah, that wasn't a good look. He shouldn't have did that. I would have handled that differently. I thought everybody was gangsta out here. I thought everybody was about that life. I thought everybody was about handling the situation when they feel that they're being disrespected. But now everybody is like, no, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. Woo! Like I tell you, black people. Black people, it's only black people, I tell you. It is only black people. But I'll tell you this. I'll look at it from a whole nother perspective, which I didn't see a lot of people touch on, right? And I touched on this one fact. I stated to y'all in the last live stream that Jada has always figured out a way to, in a sense, have their names directly out there, right? To basically keep it, keep it there. I'm specifically talking about the Red Table Talk, right? That is her own creation. That is a way to keep the Smiths family, name out there and alive. Versus a lot of other celebrities where people are like, yo, I didn't even know these celebrities were still alive. Like, I thought you disappeared. That must have been the Mandela effect. People thinking that certain celebrities are gone because they're no longer around. Certain people think celebrities are broke because you don't hear from them anymore. So she figured out the science behind how to sit up there and do that. So because of this interaction that basically took place, sometime somewhere down the line, that's going to be more than likely a very interesting show because if I'm not sure if they've already done it or not, but I figure that should be a nicely rated show because you're going to have people from all over with a variety of opinions coming to view that and to leave their opinion, to leave their voice as well, and to hear their perspective and what it is that if Will is there, what he's going to say, or if it's just Jada, what her feelings are and what her comments and what her outlook, on the situation is going to be, and what she's heard from other people, in the Olympus, region. And the other thing that's going to take place is because the whole world at this moment in time feels bad for Chris Rock, don't be too surprised if you start seeing Chris Rock pop up. You start seeing him in ads or you start seeing him in movie roles and different things like that, because that's normally what starts to happen, right? Because at this moment in time, Chris Rock, I think he might have been in like one movie recently, but nobody's really talking about it. So it's like, yeah, so, like I said, pay very close attention. This is in a sense how careers get, reignited, and you start to see people for another 5 to 10 years, right? Case in point, let me put y'all back to Kanye West and Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift does not have good music. She might have some hits, but she don't got no good music, right? And the only reason that Taylor Swift's career lasted longer than what it should have is because a black man by the name of Kanye West intervened and told the truth that day. He was like, I don't care about any of this. I'm paraphrasing, but Beyonce had the best record. And that was a fact. Beyonce's record was better than Taylor Swift's. If people feel differently, then you're obviously, I don't know what to tell you musically. I just don't. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But because he decided to intervene and do that, that's when the whole world did what? They felt sorry for Taylor Swift. Oh, Taylor Swift is this sweet girl. She's America's sweetheart. How could that violent Negro ever do something like that to that beautiful white child? Right? That's what America did. And that's pretty much what the world did. So that reignited Taylor Swift's career for an extra amount of time past what it was supposed to have. And you see where Taylor Swift is right now. And you hear when people sit up there and talk about Taylor Swift, what's her best like album? And it ain't nothing much recent. Like I said before, I don't know what to sit up there and tell people. But like I told y'all before, the Coliseum is open, and this is what the Coliseum looks like. It's going to be a gauntlet, and it's going to be a variety of things to get thrown directly at you in order to get you emotionally attached, in order to get you divided, in order to get you into different types of lines of thinking, right? All of it is basically built to move you away from the stuff that you are supposed to be focused on. But if I'm real speaking in reality, this is what people like to do, right? We all, including myself, right? We want to, in a sense, find a way to escape reality, right? Versus our every day. So if we're going to work and we got to deal with, the white man, right? And all of that nonsense, right? What do? We're going to turn on a football game. We're going to turn on a basketball game or some. I'm sorry. Let me recorrect myself. we're going to turn on a basketball game, or we're going to turn on American football, right? Because in other countries, football is actually soccer. When in America, we call football soccer, and vice versa. Like I said, it's a very confusing thing, right? Or some people will turn on hockey, or, or different things, of that nature in order to escape. Or like me, I'll sit up there and turn on a video game system. I'll play some games in order to decompress, in order to get away from all the stuff that I basically look at and listen to on, an everyday basis, right? So the thing is that with that escape, a lot of people feel that that escape is so much more like reality that they don't even want to live in reality. So that later connects directly into the entertainment industry and dealing with the lives and the marriages of celebrities, right? Some of our lives are so boring, right? Some of the things that we do are just, every day, just on the clock. We know we're doing this, and this. We need something different, right? So instead of looking at our boring lives, we want to sit up there and focus on celebrities, right? We don't want to focus on our own problems. We don't want to look at our own woes. We don't want to, in a sense, try to manage everyday bills and how we're going to do this and do that. Let me sit up there and focus on the celebrities' problems. Let me sit up there and talk about this because I don't want to focus on myself. I don't want to sit up there and talk about myself, right? So this is that psychological war aspect, right? So then, since the higher ups basically know that that's the case, what are they going to do? They're going to give you the things that they know that you like. So just like when you go to Facebook or YouTube, you have a recommended section, right? Because YouTube knows with the algorithm that, yo, you have a preference, right? To look at these such and such and or these types of videos. So we're going to sit up there and curate, right, this recommended section for you, right? IG will do the exact same things with the IG videos that they have up there. Facebook will do the same thing with Facebook videos and also ads and different things of that nature. Twitter will also do the exact same thing for you, and so on and so on and so on, to basically keep you directly on that wheel of not going back and focusing on the stuff that you're supposed to focus on in reality, right? So even when you're walking in reality, you're still walking in a dream at the same time. You're still asleep. This is how, in a sense, they hypnotize you. This is how they sit up there and keep you in that lullaby, right? Before the bow breaks and the cradle and the baby will fall, right? That's how they keep you teetering directly on that branch before a nice hard wind comes and you're just down there. You're wondering, how did I get here? Like I said before, this is when, like I keep telling people, life imitates art and art imitates life. So this is when you look at the Matrix and you see how people are trapped in this type of reality that's not even a real reality, but because they believe mentally and how, they've been inserted in there that this is an actual reality, their mind is going to sit up there and go with it. So this is where the Black community is when it comes to celebrity information, when it comes to all the information that we decide to indulge in on an everyday basis. And this is how they can curate certain things in order to cause issues and rifts in the Black community, right? So we got the issues with Black men and Black women, right? How divisive that is, right? But realistically, these are, in a sense, some of these are issues that we've had, but it wasn't really magnified. It wasn't put on a spotlight case, but like, yo, you need to focus on this small issue, because it's the largest elephant in the room. It wasn't like that. Those were actually conversations that Black men and women would actually sit down and have if it came to groups, or if it came to, within a relationship, or even friends or family. I've even had these conversations, with my family, because I had a family member. This was way before you had like a manosphere and different things like this. This was back when my grandmother was alive. And my cousin at the time, I think she was in, oh, what was she? I want to say her late 20s, right? She sat up there and made the state, and I had to call her out on it. And this is me still being in high school, right? She stated, she's a Black woman. She was like, yo, I'm an independent woman and I don't need a man to do anything for me. But if I get married, and when I get married to a man, I still expect him to do everything for me. And I sat there right next to her, and I'm like, hold on. I'm like, that did not just come out of your mouth. I'm like, hold on, whoa, 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 whoa. And this is high school me. I'm sitting up there like, I'm like, hold on, how are you saying that you're independent as a woman, meaning that you can do any and everything in the world? Any and everything in the world, meaning that you literally being independent, you don't need anybody's help or assistance for anything, right? But then in the same token, you're talking about when or if you get married, you still expect a man to do everything for you and to pay all the bills. Huh? Huh? And then when I caught her on that and she didn't really have a response, she turned around and she told me, she was like, stay in a child's place. This is an adult conversation. See, that's the type of logic that people like to use when they get caught and when they get checked and when they get corrected. But because they don't have a valid logical answer for the rebuttal that was just given, they, what is your age again? This is not a conversation for you. You are a child. Stay in a child's place. Well, this child clearly corrected an adult that was wrong. Like I said before, I'm the same person that I've always been, and ain't nothing changing about that. So if I see some illogical nonsense happening and people saying something stupid, I'm going to sit up there and catch them on that stupid. Like I said, I don't got no time for that. You're not going to sit up there and be right next to me and sitting up here saying you're an independent woman and you can do everything for yourself. But the time that you get married, you expect your husband to do everything for you. That's like I'm not playing those games. I am not playing those games. That is not how I do stuff. Not at all. Like I said, and that's not how her father is either. That is not how that works either. So, like I said before, a lot of this talk and this nonsense that has been going on the internet, this has been going on for a very long time. I've had conversations about this since I was in high school. That was a while ago now, because we're clearly in 2022. So like I said, when I talk about these things, I'm talking about conversations I've actually touched on and that I've actually had, and I've had to correct people on, be it family or not. Like I said, I do not care if it sounds stupid. I'm going to call you out on how stupid it sounds. And that 100% sounds stupid. Like I said, I can sit up there and say that as a man, I'm strong in a variety of areas, right? But then I know for the fact the areas that I might not be so strong in, that's where a woman would basically pick up those areas, right? That's where that balance basically comes in, right? I can sit up there and say, as a man, I can do this, I can do that, and all the other things. But what about the things that I can't do, right? So how am I going to sit up there and fill in those roles? I got two choices as a man, right? I can either decide that I'm just going to overlook that and not care about it, or I'm going to sit up there and be with a woman that can, in a sense, fill in those areas that I can't necessarily fit in. Maybe I might not specialize in that, right? Maybe I can't multitask in that section, right? Or maybe that might be my blind spot, right? That's what a woman is supposed to pick up, right? That's where that balancing act comes in, right? That's where that compliment comes in, where people say that, a woman compliments a man, right? Because she's the one that's holding in and holding up those areas, right? That he might not be able to do because he's holding up everything else. So she's there basically, putting in the concrete or whatever it is into all the other areas, right? Making sure that when he stands strong, he's 100% standing strong. So, like I said, hopefully, in a sense, that part, makes sense to, to some people out there. Hold on, what Tiffy say? Tiffy was like, Seji, did you get slapped after that? I'm pretty sure that she might have wanted to hit me, but if she would have hit me, that would further prove my point on what I said up there and say on the platform when it comes to women. That when it comes to certain people, including women, right, being corrected, it gets to an emotional level, right? Because when you start using, as a man, when you start cutting emotions with logic, people don't like that, right? People always like the whole thing of like fire with fire, right? Logic, in a sense, is like a tsunami, So no matter how large that fire is, if you got enough water, aka a tsunami, it's going to sit up there and snuff out that whole flame. She got hit with a tsunami. So if she would have acted emotionally and decided to hit me, that would have further solidified everything that I was sitting up there saying during that point. Like I said before. I mean, for me, it wouldn't have mattered. It just would have been funny to me. I would have said some more stuff. It would have been, whoo, I would have went on a roll during that point in time. But like I said, I love my cousin. I love her to death. She is a very, awesome person. She is a poet, at heart, and she does poetry. And like I said, I am very proud of her. And she is married to a black man, and they fit each other, perfectly. So at the end of the day, people do change, right? And with that change, right, comes evolution, right? And because people change over time and they go into that evolution, that allows them to then find the mate, right, that best suits them. And she found that mate that best suits her. And they have been married for I think way more than like 10 years. I think, has it been about like 12? It's been a while. I think it's been like well over like 10 years, that they have been married and whatnot. And I'm proud and I'm very happy for them. Right. So, like I said before, um, you got a lot of people out here that need to actually deal with reality. They need to sit up there and actually deal with life. Saying something versus actually 100% believing it is clear cut two different things. It's clear cut two different things. Right. So, that is in a sense where we are at, this moment in time. But hopefully, like I said before, some of the tangents that I went on, hopefully people will, understand and, directly see that and understand it. Hold on. All right, there we go. Um, but yeah, it's like, I don't know. At the end of the day, people are going to, have their opinion. They're going to feel what they feel about specifically, what it is that Will decided to do. And like I said, everybody is free to, have, their opinion. But when it comes to having an opinion versus trying to say that a man wouldn't do this or do that to like such and such or whoever, now we're just like going into the realm of like I said, what ifs. And for me, that doesn't make sense. That 100% does not make sense at all. I'm trying to find the original picture where we were before. Let me see if I can happen to cross that out. So yeah, like I said before, there needs to be some type of like limits, right? Because let me, matter of fact, I could actually do a side by side. Hold on, let me see. Can I? Oops, nope, that's not the right one. Which one is this? Where am I at on this? This is this image here. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and then nope, that's not the one I'm looking for. Nope, my bad. Don't mind me. I'm sitting up here trying to go through. I should have had this labeled properly. All right, and then this one. Like I said, this is what in a sense happens when you don't have like limitations, right? So you got defense on one end, regardless on however people feel if it was right or wrong, if he should be prosecuted, put in jail, and now you have clear cut another man, or more than likely, because I didn't look through all of Twitter yet, you more than likely have him among other men sitting up there calling Jada a black woman directly out of her name. But yet again, everybody's now focused on, yeah, Will needs to be prosecuted. Chris Rock, he needs to sit up there and sue Will. He needs to charge Will. Will should be stripped of everything and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, it's amazing how because of one mistake, you got black people ready to like really try to strip Will of everything because of one mistake. When, like I said, black people continuously make the same mistakes every single day. But yet nobody wants to sit up there and talk about that though. People want to sit up there and act like, it's whatever it is. My main thing is like at the end of the day, we saw two rich people, right? Or better yet, two rich black men, aka or better yet, black on black crime happen on national TV, right? And this is in a sense the main focus. It's not financial literacy. It's not agriculture. It's not gaining any type of land. It's not investing. It's not none of that. Nothing that Will and Chris Rock did is going to put more money in anybody's bank accounts for the black community. It's not going to put more money, and it's not going to take more money. The government is still going to do what the government is going to still do. The world is still going to react to black people. However, the world has already still been reacting to black people. Because beyond this moment or not, with these two black men, you're still going to have another police shooting. You're still going to sit up there and have another black son, brother, uncle, or grandfather out there losing their life. There's going to be a black woman out there getting harmed in some type of way. There's going to be a black child out there missing somewhere. So, like I said before, the Coliseum is open, full-fledged. Because after this, it'll be another story that people are focused on dealing with celebrities. It'll be a clear-cut another story. Like I said, before this, we had the story about MGK, aka Machine Gun Kelly. But yet, nobody really cared about that. Why? Because that was a white male. So nobody really cared about it, right? So like I said, it is what it is. Whatever is black sells. And that's the main thing that I keep telling black people. You know, yo, what is up, Trails? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Said, make these streams normal. I might. Like I said, I have a habit of sitting up there saying, like, yeah, I'm going to sit up there and do this at this time, this time. I'll just put it as I might. I'm not going to give a specific time. When a stream happens is when it happens. This one I was actually supposed to be recording a video just talking about the comment on this one here. Wait, let me see if I can actually. I was supposed to just solo do a video just talking about this comment here, but I decided to put that directly up there in the live stream because hopefully people see it. And like I said before, it's always amazing to me when I do these live streams and the usual suspects never show up or they just stay silent directly in the background. Like I said, people always got the mouth to talk in the comment section, but they don't be rolling up when I can vocally speak, when I'm actually live and I'm actually sitting up there giving energy out. So like I said before, if any of y'all are in the background, who some of y'all names that I do know, what is it? Who is that? Lady Crenshaw. That's one, and a few other ones, directly out there. If y'all out there in the background and y'all just sitting up there watching and waiting to leave a comment on the next video I do about black women, I already got one up technically, and I got another one coming up. Just be very sure to pay attention to this image directly up here and this true American right here who called Jada Smith directly out of her name. Just saying. So if you want to critique me, make sure you sit up there and come at your selected preference, and you make sure to come at him first before you try to see me. Because, like most black people say, we always have the energy for our own, but we never have none for the oppressor. And that's facts. Because every single time I point stuff like this out, all of those black women who got this dude like up here, let me see if I can technically zoom that out right there. Let me see if I can block that one real quick. A lot of the black women that got this dude right here, you can't even see my mouse, that got that dude in the corner right there as a preference, they always got all the smoke. They always got all the energy for me, but they never have energy for dudes like him calling a black woman on social media directly out of her name. But they'll deflect and they'll be like, well, black men did it first. Well, black men enabled it. Well, black men are still doing it. And I'll put it to you like this, right? Back when everybody was in slavery, right? Regardless on however people feel about that history, right? Back when everybody was in slavery, right? You didn't have black men disrespecting black women, right? We didn't have all of this music. We didn't have all of this fashion. We didn't have all of this talky talk, right? And what was still happening to black women? They were still getting disrespected by multiple groups of men. Even during Black Wall Street, right? When black families were together, we had financial literacy. We were practicing group economics and building, right? We were thriving. Black women were still getting disrespected, and it was not by way of black men. And then you can further go into the 60s and the 70s as well. It was the same exact thing. So, like I said before, for all of this deflection talking about, oh, but black men enabled it, no, we didn't. Do I have to point towards medical books where they specifically talk about black women and how a lot of these quote unquote higher ups during that time would categorize black women as, oh, they don't feel anything, they don't feel pain, they don't feel this, they don't feel that? Do I have to remind you of Sarah Bartman, who was a part of a human zoo, and she will be placed all over the world for people to sit up there and see her naked body and her opening her legs? Do I have to remind you of that? And do I have to remind you that those same individuals that did that to her were the same ones that sat up there and gave her an STD as well? But yet, I guess you're going to sit up there and say that the reason that Sarah Bartman was put directly on display was because it was a black man's fault automatically. Because all throughout history, it's always been a black man's fault whenever a black woman has been disrespected. Like I said before, I don't care if you got all the smoke. For me, it's entertainment for me at the end of the day, because I'm going to be me. But at the end of the day, your preference is still going to be your preference, and they're still going to act the same way that they've always been acting. They're going to teach the same way that they've always been teaching, and they're going to speak the same way they always been speaking. So, hey, most said that vaginal forceps were actually a torture device in the very beginning. Oh, oh, that's pretty interesting. Like I said, I'm not too surprised. I'm not too surprised because I've seen a multitude of things dealing with the medical industry and how they were able to profit off of black people's pain, especially black women. But like I said, it is what it is. It very much is what it is. And I actually, I'm going to remix a video that's going to come up pretty soon, and it's in a sense going to be touching on this very same topic. And I like I said, a lot of the videos that I have done and said they are still a torture device, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Like I said, during relationships that I have been in, I've been, one to, go to appointments, right? And I'm normally sitting there. as everything is happening. And the most interesting thing is, now maybe some other men can attest to this as well. Whenever you're a man and you're in this appointment, you'll always have the female doctors. They'll be like, do you want him, in the room? Is he allowed to be? Is he supposed to? I'm like, I'm here because you're doing something to a black woman, and you're doing a variety of things. I'm here to make sure that everything is a-okay, right? Because like I said, I don't trust the men or the women there at all. And if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I'm going to be directly in that doctor's visit. And when they're sitting up there, doing whatever they got to do to look at the cells of the walls, make sure that nothing is irregular, and they got to, check a lot of things. I'm going to sit up there and be there just to make sure that something doesn't go catastrophically wrong, right? But it's funny to me that they're trying to check to make sure if I'm supposed to be here, as if I'm the problem, as if I'm going to cause some type of issue. That's hilarious to me. That is 100% hilarious to me. But like I said, I'm not too shocked, because it's like looking at some of the things that women go through, over the years that I've been through these, been to these. Um, it's very interesting. You can see that it's a little bit of a distressing, type of situation. You can see the looks on women's faces, when how uncomfortable they are with another human being, basically, looking inside, and doing a variety of things, like that. In some instances, I've been there and seen some women actually cry, right? um so it's like, yeah, I'm not too surprised, um you know if at any point in time these things were torture devices. I'm not surprised. A lot of the greatest inventions that we have were born out of horrible situations. So I'm not too surprised at all. I'm not. um Let me see. Brooklyn said it's amazing that the majority of the people talking didn't even know the Oscars was even on. Yo, let me tell you, when they had like that boycott originally, when they started boycotting like a lot of stuff, I stopped watching a lot of stuff. Like, I don't sit up there and like tune into like networks and watch stuff. If I happen to see a clip on Twitter of like, a crossover or a dunk or something on the game, I might sit up there and watch it. Or maybe it might be a sports analyst sitting up there, talking about some stuff. Depending on the topic, I might listen to it. If it deals with an award show, if it had to do with people with our people, I'll sit up there and pay attention to it. I might bend an ear directly to that clip. But other than that, I'm not turning on no type of cable or turning on ABC, NBC, or whatever it is in order to watch these shows no more. I'm not. Like, I'm realistically not even interested. I don't even really watch sports anymore. I mostly sit up there and watch old videos of boxing fights, of some mixed martial arts and different things of that nature. At the most, you might sit up there and catch me watching. I might watch some boxing, depending on who's fighting. But other than football and basketball, that's not where I am at this moment in time. But if other people want to sit up there and enter and watch the entertainment and stuff, I have no problem with that. To each of their own. Everybody, relaxes and decompresses on their own thing. Like I said, I'm not in the mode of a one size fits all. So I ain't trying to sit up there and say, well, if Seji ain't doing it, you shouldn't be doing it. Nah, go ahead and do whatever it is that you want to sit up there and do. Like I told y'all before, I don't drink or smoke, but I know other people that do and that indulge in that, and I have no problem with that. I'm not going to try to stop them from sitting up there doing it or anything like that. That is their body. They're going through whatever they're going through, so they feel that they need that. So be it. It is what it is. So that's how I am about a lot of different things. And you are 100% correct, because, sir, I did not even know myself that the Oscars were on, because I was focused on other stories. So you are 100% correct on that comment because I, good sir, did not even know. You are correct. And I can be 100% honest about that. 100% with no shame in it. I ain't know. I didn't have a clock. I didn't have a watch. I didn't have a television. I didn't have a calendar or nothing set to even let me know that the Oscars were happening. The only way I would have known that the Oscars were taking place is if Twitter. And that's how I basically knew. Twitter. That was it. That was it, you know. Um, let me see. I'm a little bit confused on this one. Now, I do my videos that I normally sit up there and do, but this is the time that are you okay? I'm going to take it as you're 100% serious, and I'm going to look at that emoji that you got for your profile as that you are Caucasian. I'm looking at Finley as clearly you are Caucasian. Um, so just working off of that, I can already see clearly where you're coming from, right? Now you seem like you're much more for the news stories of the Ukraine and Russia, that those would pretty much fit within your spectrum. You came here and you're asking what specifically do black women need protection from, right? Now this is Seji stepping directly out of the normal zone that he is in, right? So let's see here. Let's see here. I have done stories on missing black women. Doesn't matter in whatever part of the United States, you've had missing black women. You've had black women have their lives taken for a variety of reasons, which they should have never had their lives taken. You've had black women have their lives threatened, which they should have never had their lives threatened. You have black women, elderly black women, young teenage girls, and young girls all being harmed by men. Usually it's by either friends or family. And this is something that also happens in other communities as well, right? So, and then on top of that, you have, quite a bit of hypersexualization or sexualization that happens by way of social media and so on when it comes to black women and their image as well. You also have the fact that a lot of people want to speak on black women's hair when they are not even black themselves and they're not even a black woman. But yet they feel that they have the full-fledged right to tell black women, oh, you shouldn't wear braids. You shouldn't wear that hairstyle. You should press out your hair. You should do this. You should do that. This, that, and the third. There's a majority. There's a variety of instances that can be talked about where black women do need protection, right? Minus the stuff that I do talk about, where you do have some black women out here that specifically are like, yo, black men this, black men that, and all this. Beyond all of that, black women need protection from a lot when it comes to the world. They need protection. Like I said before, you being a troll and you also being serious at the same time being stupid. Go look up the medical history when it deals with black women. Go look that up and go look at how black women were dissected and how they were treated and how they were cut apart and put up for display. Even if a black woman was not a sexual type of being, you would have Europeans deem her as a sexual being because that is them sexualizing her and her image, which she has no control over. Why? Because she is property. She is cattle. She is just something to just be consumed and used. But you're sitting up here talking about what is it that black women need to be protected from. This is why I would really love it to actually see the people that leave comments, because you said, hold on, you said that I'm not a troll. It's just a question. Let me just make it, like I said, this is not even a monetized live stream. That was a dumbass question. That was a straight fuck ass, dumbass, stupid ass question. Like I said, if you want to, obviously you asking that question, you're not even black. Please don't roll up here and say, but you know, even though my name is Charles and Finley, it sounds very Caucasian and Mayo in nature. It doesn't mean that I'm Caucasian. I'm mixed. I'm mixed, or I'm black, or I have 1% black in my DNA. I'm part African. I don't want to hear none of that trash. If I don't see a face, it don't exist. If I don't see a face, it don't exist. I know I'm black every single day. I've shown my face a multitude of times. So, you know, like I said, it was a dumbass question. It was a straight dumbass question. You talking about drop the link and pop up? What? So the whole live stream can sit up there and become about you because you wanted to enter and shift everything to your question so that you can now come up here and now you want to sit up there and speak and now you want to sit up there and give your side and different things. Nah, bro, that ain't how that works. You can continue sitting up there talking directly like you were talking in this comment section. That's not how that works here. When I sit up there and actually have the time and tell people to pull up, that's when I expect people to pull up. It's not when you decide that you want to now sit up there and pull up. I didn't ask for you to pull up. That's not how that works here. Like I said, y'all don't run no shit up in this bitch. That's not how that works. That is not how that works. If you want to sit up there and pull up on something, how about this? I got you. I got you real quick because I'm not the type of person that is selfish when it comes to content. Mark down the time on this live and you can cut the section of this live where I basically stated how this was a dumbass, stupid ass, fuck ass question. You can cut that part of the live and you can sit up there and do a video directly on it. And you can say whatever the fuck you want to sit up there and say directly on it. I have no issues with it. I'm not going to sit up there and flag you. I'm not going to take down your video or nothing like that. You can freely do whatever the fuck it is that you want to sit up there and do. And you can also make sure to have this part before the video, just so that it's clear cut that I'm telling you that you can clearly use this section of the video where I'm dedicating and talking directly to you and letting you know that that was a stupid ass question that you're asking about black women. Stupid ass question. You can clearly cut and make your own video and do whatever the fuck it is that you want to do. But you're not about to sit up there and do that shit here. You're not about to do it here. Because like I said, I have the topics that I talk about. And when I make time, when I state that people should pull up, nobody pulls up. But then when people are ready and they feel like they're prepared, now they're like, oh, I'm going to sit up there and pull up. I'm going to sit up there and speak my sense. I'm going to sit up there and put them in his place. No, that's not how that works, coach. That's not how that works here. It ain't never worked like that here. So maybe if you're still here, maybe on another live stream, when I sit up there and tell people to sit up there and pull up and I give that invitation, you are more than likely to sit up there and do that. And we can sit up there and have a conversation. Matter of fact, I might not even say nothing. I'll just let you sit up there and talk because I'm pretty sure that you can go for 20 hours because I've done about a 22-hour live stream. So I'm pretty sure that you can easily match that since you wanted to ask this question and you more than likely have way more information than I have because you feel that what do black women need to get protected from? What do women in general need to get protected from? Like I said, that would be a stupid ass question. If I literally went out here and asked women, what do women need protection from? Do you know how many neck breaks I would receive? How many dumbass looks I would get basically saying that you're a dumbass for sitting up there asking that question? That's a crazy ass question. That's a crazy ass question. I don't even have a daughter. And I understand at a bare minimum what little girls need protection from. I cover videos like that on an everyday basis. And that's how I know that a lot of people don't watch the content that I do because I clearly sit up there and cover topics like this on things that happen to little, especially children. I cover topics on things that happen to children. And it's like that would be me sitting up there asking like grown adults who have gone through times where their kids have been assaulted or anything like that. What do kids need to be protected from? Wow. Like I said, it's crazy. That is 1,000% crazy. That is 1,000% crazy. But like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like I said, if people want to sit up there and actually, do some stuff, they'll do it, right? So, like I keep telling people before, if you got a problem or an issue about anything that I'm saying, the content that I'm creating, by all means, start up your own platform and start running your mouth. That's all you got to sit up there and do. I run my mouth for like 4 years, and I'm still here doing it, and I'm doing it my way. Ain't nobody else running this shit, controlling this shit. This, that, the third. Oh, okay. You know, hey, you know what? I will say that it is 2022, and people love what they love. I have clearly, no issue with that, but it is very nice to know that, that is what it is. Hey, everybody is very different in life. Everybody goes about things differently. So, it is what it is. Hey, if anything that makes you happy in life, you know, stay to it. 2012. Seji's not judging. Right. But thank you for the information, Omo. Thank you for that very helpful information. Now, beyond that, beyond me saying what I just said about that, the thing that I will have issue with is the fact of the matter of people questioning if black women need protection from anything. And it's funny that I'm talking this whole time and I have this image directly up here. Let me just highlight. Let me see if I can blow up this image real quick. Let me just show you that one picture right there. That is what is called a true American Allosaurus. These are what some would have thought to have been extinct, but they are obviously still alive and thriving. And these type of beings that are still around and that still exist tend to decide to attack black women in a multitude of ways and fashions, even though knowing the fact that at their heart of hearts, they too are infatuated with black women to an extent that they sexualize them and that they like to go onto adult sites at night and they like to watch interracial engagements dealing with black women with white men. So, in a sense, I almost don't even I will take what was stated as an insult towards Jada. But what I'm saying is that it's highlighting the fact that you have somebody that can never get a black woman like Jada, and knowing that fact, right? Deciding that this is something that he wanted to sit up there and do. That this is the way that he wanted to speak about a black woman that doesn't even know exactly who he is. This long should be extinct being is simply reaching out to Jada to try to get the attention from a black woman that he necessarily normally could never even get. Right. So that's how I look at a lot of comments when it deals with other individuals that decide that they specifically want to target and come after black women and that want to specifically question a lot of things. That's how I look at stuff. That's the box that I just so happen to put that directly in. You know, yo, I see the same comments on all black channels. They sound stupid. Yeah, 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 yep. Wait. You said the screen is empty. No, the image should be. It's still up. I'm looking at it through. Hold on. Let me see something. You said the screen is empty. Hold on. I might sit up there and actually miss what took place. Hold on. I could have sworn I put that. Yeah. I had it on the right side, on the right spot. Well, at least I can swear I did. you know, um, but no, K5. I was just trying to showcase the main part of what the true American decided, to sit up there and say. right? And different things like that. Like I said, I'm talking about what do black women need protection from, because that was a question that, was obviously asked. And while asking that very same question, obviously people are not paying attention. I literally have a picture up here of a true American talking about a black woman and calling her out of her name for clearly no reason. Like I said, Jada doesn't know, regardless, like I said, regardless on however people feel about Jada Smith as a person or what she does in her marriage, that's that, right? My main focus on is all black everything. That's the only thing I care about, realistically. It's all black everything. Everybody's successful. Everybody's making money. They got generational wealth. They don't have to sit up there and get money from nobody, right? They don't got to take out a loan. They don't got to borrow nothing. If they today wanted to stop acting and just got off of social media and buy an island, they could sit up there and do it. They can have their own land. They can have their own farm, their own everything. Like, realistically, that's what I'm focusing on when it comes to the aspect of their marriage. Because like I said in the previous live stream, I feel like at the end of the day, that the positives are the main things that people should take from their marriage. Right? When it comes to that financial, that generational, that positivity, type of deal. That's the main thing that people should, in a sense, like focus on and stuff. But you know, it is what it is there. Let me see. Where did I have another screen up for what's the name? I don't think I did. Okay, there we go. Um, you know, hey, Brew Light, hey, like I said, it is what it is. Whatever people like is whatever people like. It don't affect me realistically. At the end of the day, it ain't affecting my bills or anything like that. Like I said, if that is, what makes that individual happy, that is what makes that individual happy. I don't got nothing against it. It's 2022. I ain't judging. I ain't even judging. The majority of our people I run into don't even say hi. I'm not protecting no one but my family, and them days are gone. No, I understand that. I understand that. I understand that. And see, I put it just like how Sean basically stated. He was like, "Yo, because of how everything is basically in the community, I'm just going to worry about protecting my own. No problem. That technically that is a very good logical way to look at it in a sense, right? Because if I put it to you like this on a street standpoint, right? Because I used to, I love my block, right? Whenever I would shovel snow, I would shovel the driveway, the porch, the walkway, the sidewalk, in the area, half of the area that's in front of the house and in front of the street. So that half of the street that's in front of my house, I would sit up there and shovel that. When people think about, let's say, snow falling, right? People always like, oh man, I gotta go through the snow, in the street. I gotta worry about getting stuck and so on and so on and so on, right? If every person, in a sense, shoveled that part of the street in front of their house, there would be no snow on the block, right? So, in a sense, that's what Sean is basically doing. He's like, all right, I got my house. I'm sitting up there, I'm shoveling the sidewalk, the walkway, I'm doing the driveway, and I'm doing the street in front of my house, right? I need everybody else to sit up there and start doing theirs. That's in a sense what Sean is sitting up there saying. And I like that type of attitude. I mean, I might be paraphrasing and adding a little bit more to it, right? But I'm saying that's a good logical way to sit up there and think about it. Because if you think about a block that might be blighted by trash and different things of that nature, if the block wouldn't be blighted if everybody would fix up and keep up their own areas, right? Instead of just letting it just go to shit, right? So, like I said, this is another thing that the black community needs to start doing. Like, yeah, we do need to sit up there and, start looking out for, other people in the black community, but we also need to start looking out for our very own. When we start practicing, like the love and the respect and the safety for our very own, that is also going to show forth when we go out into the community. The reason that you don't have that in the community is because we don't, in a sense, really practice that within our own homes. We don't practice that amongst our friends. We don't practice that amongst our families. So it's, like I said, it's a whole mentality that needs to shift in order for the black community to realistically be better as a whole. So much love and respect to Sean, for doing what it is, that you do. Raz T, yo, much love and appreciation. Thank you for being a part of the live stream. Have a very good rest of your afternoon. I had to actually look at the clock at this moment in time because I do not run on a normal time schedule. Thanks for being a part of the live stream, and much love and appreciation for being here. Also want to give a don't worry, the stream is not ending yet. I want to give a shout out to all of my mods out there, who've been rolling with me for a very long time on both platforms. Shout out to Nini, because she is probably at work listening to this live stream when she's supposed to be working. I'm going to call your supervisor. I'm going to call your manager. Um, Much love and appreciation to Tippy, uh, one of the gamers. That's a part of this mod section. I know Gail not here, but much love and appreciation to Gail and Tia, Kia, Mo, Trills, K5, Sunstar. It's a lot of people. Lord have mercy. I really gotta like make sure I write down a list. Next time I'm gonna make sure whenever I start like going off names, because I hate missing names. I want to make sure to have like a list of like mods from like both channels. I'm gonna make sure to sit up there and do that. Like I said, I love y'all a lot. I appreciate you guys a lot as well. Um I got some other stuff like I wanted to say, but it's like my mind just like clicked off at that moment. It's the craziest thing, just like it just completely just like clicks, at that moment. Um but yeah, that's like I said before, that's my main thing. That's the main thing that needs to be happening for the black community. It's like, yo, we in order for us to better ourselves, and in order for us to like fix everything, like, yo, we got to start fixing ourselves individually, right? So if at any point in time anybody wants to list themselves as an individual, that is that time. Fix yourself as an individual, right? And then work on fixing the inner workings of your family, all of those broken pieces. And then how people, like I said before, how people say that we lack love, respect, and all these other things. If you have a person that loves themselves and that they love their family, that's going to, all of that inwardly type of energy and that thought is going to show outwardly, right, when they touch the real world, and people are going to recognize that and see that. And the plight, in a sense, with the black community is at the moment in time that we have somebody who is black, that not only loves themselves, but they love black people in the black community. um this is when those types of people, in a sense, sort of get like condemned. They get kind of shunned. They get looked at in a certain type of way, and they get devalued and not appreciated. And then we have everything going back to normal, right? So when that person, in a sense, is told to like, yo, we don't want all of this here, right? Yeah, still rain. Thank you, still rain. And Andrea Durant. I think, oh my god, I think I Miss Durant, because I think I really butchered her name. I think I really butchered her name. Oh Lord, oh my goodness. um but yeah, it's like, it's a lot of things that we gotta work on, right? And like Sean had basically stated, he was like, yo, the majority of our people I run into don't even say hi. Like, yo, I would have a multitude of times, like earlier on, walking down the street, and just going to the store, and I see like older black man. I'm like, yo, what's up, how you doing? Because that's in a sense the generation that I came from, right? Whenever you saw like an older black man in the neighborhood, he would see you, be like, "Yo, what's up, young blood? You know, how you doing? You know, what's up?" Like, you know, he would start, you know, like a conversation. Like y'all would just have like a little talk, and y'all would both sit up there and smile, and you know, you would carry on about your day. But just having that small interaction with somebody can have a massive change on somebody's energy, right? Just running into somebody positive can just massively disrupt any type of negative energy that you might have just went through or that you're currently in at that, you know, at that moment in time. And I've had that happen to me, you know, like quite a few times. And it was by way of the black men in the community that were the ones that broke that negative energy that I might have been in or that I might have been feeling or thinking about at that time. So this is why I'm always team black men whenever it comes to you know, things going on out here. I can always report on these things, yes. But due to the positive effects and the positive interactions that I have had, the overwhelming positive interactions, right, that I've had with black men in the community, they have helped me become the black man that I am at this moment in time. And I would be doing a disservice and a disrespect to a lot of those older men, right? If I did not sit up there and talk about the overwhelming positivity, right, that I received from black men in the black community. So this is why whenever I see, um, you know, some black women out here having those conversations, I'm like, you're specifically talking about the men that you decided to have interactions with, right? Now, some interactions I've had with black men, of course, they're normal like men type of interactions where it's like, yo, what you looking at? It's like, yo, what's up? You know, something wrong, like, you know, those type of interactions. But those for me are, and I'm a man at the end of the day. Those are in a sense for me few far and in between because I can learn how to read the rooms and I can read certain temperatures, right? I know certain people to engage with, certain people I might be able to engage with, and people that I can 100% engage with, and nothing's going to happen, right? You have a lot of women out here that, in a sense, don't read the room like that. So, this is why they have a lot of those negative experiences. This is why they echo the exact same things because they're not reading the room and or those men properly to understand that, yo, this is not a dude that you should be messing with. This is not a dude that you should be talking to. Like I said, I've had a lot of interactions with both men and women, right? One of the main things that I've gotten from a woman who was my mother, she told me about women, right? I got the positive side about women because I looked at her, I looked at my grandmother, I looked at both of my aunts, right? I saw educated women. I saw women sitting up there working, women holding down a job, right? I saw all of that beautifulness, right? But my mom was the first woman to ever sit up there and tell me the ugliness when it deals with women. How you have women out here who are vultures, who will identify that, hey, you are a nice guy, and they will sit up there and use you. You will get abused. You will get mistreated. You will get dogged. You will get used for your money. Women will sit up there and trap you because they know that they can trap you. Don't allow that to happen. That's the first woman ever in my existence to ever really tell me the negative side about women. Because the whole other side that I see is, oh, it's beauty, it's sprinkles, it's sunshine, it's pie, it's all of this good stuff, right? It's nothing negative. Nobody tells you the negative, right? But let's go on to the flip side, right? When women have an introduction to men, they always hear the negative about men. And last, they hear about the good part. But before we can even get to that good part, women are still on a train of seeing and hearing the negative about men. So because that's all they're hearing, and that's because that's all that's being echoed and replayed countless and countless and countless times, that's all they're going to sit up there and believe. So this is now at the point in time why we have black women in the black community sitting up there saying that black men aren't this, black men aren't that, black men aren't this, black men aren't that. Look at what black men are doing here. Look at what black women, what black men aren't doing here. But it's like I said before, and this is when I come to my platform and I'm like, since this is the game that we're playing, we're going to sit up there and play this my way. I'm going to sit up there and show y'all both. I sat up there and showcased a video to y'all where it was a young, um, I think she was 12 or 13. Somebody from New York might know the story that I'm talking about. I did it a few years ago. It was a young black girl where she got jumped by several black teenage boys. They sat up there and I think they took her cell phone. I think they might have took her money and her shoes. I did that video and went directly in on both the community and the parents of those young men, because at no point in time should that have ever taken place. And I've stated this countless times in a multitude of my videos, that things like this, where you got young boys sitting up there putting hands on young girls, should not be happening at all. I've never condoned any of that, even though I've received comments clearly on my platform that I've showcased to you guys where people are saying that, oh, Seji is condoning the violence against black women. He's condoning all the dangers that are happening to black women. He's enabling all of these dangerous thugs to harm black women and different things of that nature. And I'm like, you have to be serious. I literally do videos on both what black men do and what black women do. I've done videos on black men entertaining and being married to Caucasian women and how those kids ended up. And I think in that story, I think those kids ended up having their lives taken. I've done the same exact stories dealing with black women entertaining the same ideas with interracial relationships with those Caucasian men. And the same exact things have taken place. But the difference that I happen to see is that when I showcase a black man doing this, it is basically listed as, hey, it's that black man's fault at the end of the day. Well, this wouldn't have happened if he would have sat up there and married a black woman or been in a relationship with a black woman. That's what he get, and that's what the kids get, right? That's what I'll sit up there and see in the comment section. And then when I happen to do the reverse, the comments are looking real light. I'm like, ain't this something? I'm like, so you're going to go all hard on a black man for doing this, but when you have the exact same story pertaining to a black woman doing this, now it's like, oh no, we shouldn't come at her like that. That's a black woman at the end of the day. How is she supposed to sit up there and know and da 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 da? And then the deflection starts. It's like, but it's sad that that happened, but black men do this on an everyday basis in the black community. Seji, when are you going to sit up there and talk about this? Why are you so silent on this as a black man? Do you enable and like this to happen to our black children and to our black women and our young black girls? Why are you enabling this? Why are you sheltering these black men for making these mistakes? I'm like, we went from 0 to 100 real quick, huh? We went real quick. And I'm like, ain't that something? So I'm like, and this is when I sat up there and told y'all, if people 100% want a villain, they want a criminal, they want somebody to sit up there and hate, you got your man. You got your man. Because I would rather sit up there and take all of that hate. If all of those black women really want to sit up there and give all of that hate to one man, you can clearly sit up there and do that to me. I will happily sit up there and take all of that hate and all of that stress so that all the other black men out here don't have to sit up there and deal with it and hear about it on an everyday basis. These are kind of, like I said before, these are conversations that I heard back when I was like 6 to like 10 years old, where I would see black women talking to their girlfriends in like the lawn chairs, be like, yeah, girl, these black men, they ain't nothing. I heard such and such, she with this black dude, and he's not doing what he's supposed to be. They're sitting up there gossiping about other people's relationship, talking about how black men ain't nothing. But what about your relationship though? How is that going? How about the men that you are selecting to get pregnant by? How is that going? Are their fathers present in your life or in those children's lives? Or are we just going to categorize that now as, oh, black men, they just don't want to be here? Like I said, if we want to put responsibility on anything, we can put responsibility on stuff, right? Let me see. Like I said, I'm about equality because people like equality, right? People want to be treated the same, right? So, like I said in a multitude of videos, if you are a black man out here and you decide that you want to have relations with a black woman, wear protection, potentially maybe get a vasectomy, or do a variety of other things, right? Or maybe abstain. I know that's a very hard thing for a lot of adults to do at this point in time in society because we got sexual liberation. How about actually abstaining from sex? I'm pretty sure a lot of people haven't looked up the positives of actually abstaining, right, from sex. I'm pretty sure that's foreign to a lot of adults that have a very huge body count at this moment in time, or for religious standpoints that have a lot of soul ties, right? So a lot of people that feel like their life is in chaos, that they just can't do right, that ain't nothing going right, count how many people that you might have been with and then fit that into the scenario of why your life isn't going right. That's because you got so many other people's energies intermingled and mixed, or for a general sense that people like to use, you are entangled, right, with so many other people's energies. You can't even find where your energy is. You don't even know where your line is anymore because everything is tied up into the knot and everything is the same color and it looks the same. So to the women, to the black women out here, if your life is in chaos and you can't find the right man and things just aren't working right, maybe it's you, sweetheart. Maybe it is you. Maybe your energy is so fucked up at this moment in time that you're just going to end up getting fucked up men. It just so happens, right, that because you do want a black man, but because your energy is fucked up, you're just so happen to going to get a fucked up black man that has the same fucked up energy, if not worse. So now it's all of chaos directly there. You know what happens with that chaos? People tend to have sexual relations and breed more chaos. So all of that dysfunction is going to breed more dysfunction. So just like I said, for black men, there's a multitude of avenues that women can sit up there and take, right? They can decide to abstain, which I know a lot of women aren't going to decide to do in a sense because there's a such thing as female sexual liberation and they're not going to be told what to do with their bodies anymore. I get it, got it, good. But with that same sexual liberation, this is what comes from that. There's a such thing as STDs. This is why you have a lot of black women that end up having or coming down with STDs, or better yet, STIs, as some people like to sit up there and call it. This is because of birth control, right? That same sexual liberation and all that other type of stuff. I can do whatever I want with my body. So if you happen to look online, peruse through Twitter every once in a while, you'll happen to see some videos, right? And you will see black women engaging, right, in sexual relations with another black man unprotected. And we know how unprotected sex is very dangerous. It can lead towards pregnancy, but it can also lead towards a variety of different STIs that can be very detrimental and negative to women. It can affect their ovaries. It can affect a variety of things within their systems. It can also affect how it will go with your birth, right? So, like I said before, if at any point in time as a black woman you are having issues with finding the right black man, maybe it might be you. Maybe at this point in time, it may not be your time to find that individual because you still have a lot of stuff as a black woman that you need to heal from, that you need to walk from, and that you need to sit up there and move from. In general, a lot of people that come from jacked up relationships carry a lot of jagged, broken, and shattered pieces. So because those pieces are embedded in that person's body, when they sit up there and go hug a brand new person, they now, instead of just them being jaded and cut, now they just cut a brand new person who didn't even deserve to get that harm done. And for a lot of women, black women out here, that is clear cut what you are doing every single time that you decide to go on social media and you want to talk about, hey, black man this, black man that, black man this, black man that. I'm just going to be honest. Men can usually admit when they're wrong. I've seen even in certain shows that deal in a revolve around men, where they're talking about women, another dude will come out and be like, yo, but bro, you're saying all this about women, but what about you? What did you do wrong in your relationships? Were you 100% right in your relationships, or did you also play a part? You'll have guys reluctantly sitting up there saying, like, you know what, you're right. I did sit up there and play a part. I did do wrong here. I did do wrong there. So she is technically justified in the way that she feels. But when it comes to black women having these conversations, nobody ever asks them, hey, you're saying that this black man is wrong, but what about you? What specifically did you do in a relationship wrong that could have helped collapse the relationship even further? Because it takes two people to have a relationship. But when you hear these black women talk, all you hear is like, he did this, he did this, he did this. But what happened to that I? Magically, when everything is all good, you want to say I. But when everything is bad, it's him. But I thought it was a relationship. What happened to that we? So like I said before, that whole mentality of women still being in a relationship or still being in a marriage, and then want to turn around and still state that my title is being independent. So you being independent comes before anything else. So you can be a married woman. I'm independent first. I'm married last. Huh? I'm independent first, but I'm in a relationship last. Huh? Like I said, this is where this thought process is completely jacked up. And yet again, for like I said before, and I've seen this, I've seen people write a whole bunch of texts, wall of texts on quite a few of my videos, trying to tell me about black men and all this other type of stuff. I'm going to say this yet again, and I don't even care if you write again. To a lot of the black women out there, if you are having issues with black men and you're finding the wrong black men, sweetheart, maybe it's you. Your energy just might not be right. So because your energy ain't right, you're going to end up attracting the wrong types of men. And you're going to end up attracting the wrong types of men that's just going to be there just for that season, just for that little bit of time of fun. Maybe you as a woman, you're looking at men in the wrong type of light. You're looking at, okay, well, maybe he can break my back. Maybe he can make me feel good and all this other type of, you're looking at the whole wrong aspect. And I see a lot of women sitting up there doing that. And this is why you have a lot of women sitting up there getting left with kids. Because certain things were looked at as a positive versus looking at the man as a whole. You're not looking at it as a man that's like, oh, let me test his respect, right? Let me see if he's respectful towards women. Let me test his integrity, right? Let me see if he's family oriented. Let me see how he is around kids and around his family. Let me especially see how he treats and how he looks at his mother. Because if you find a black man that is disrespectful to the utmost when it comes to black women, you can usually point that to a certain direction. Because I've seen it when I was growing up in high school. I would see some of the guys, they would sit up there and talk about black girls, they would dog them out and all this other type of stuff. And I'm like, yo, why is this dude sitting up there like talking so wild? I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, like, you know, your mom is black, like you got sisters and everything like this. And then they would turn around, but you know, my sisters and everything like that are different. They're not like these same girls out here, right? So then when that same guy ends up getting in trouble and then the mother appears at school, everything fits into place. I fully understand why is it that he's able to sit up there and disrespect black women like that. That's because the mother, who was in a sense the first girlfriend, the first love, that is the first acknowledgement of a black woman. She also disrespects herself. She also talks out of character. She also sits up there and has like some type of masculine things going on there. She also refers to women as all types of B's and H's and different things of that nature. And even certain conversations with other women, she'll refer to herself as a B and an H as well. So like I said, when a lot of this disrespect that a lot of black women talk about, when they talk about where it comes from black men, sure, you can sit up there and say that. You can't sit up there and say that. I'm not going to sit up there and say that you can't. But the first way that I ever learned on a black woman disrespecting a black woman is hearing it from black women. Me as a young man listening to black women sit up there amongst themselves, call each other these names and disrespect themselves in public. Or maybe it might have been family sitting up there seeing it. Any which way it goes, it was still black women disrespecting themselves first. Like I told y'all before, I came up in a single parent household. There was not a man there to disrespect the black women that were there. So who do you think I would basically learn that from? Let's put on our thinking caps here, folks. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. If a lot of these women that hate black men want to go about the statistic about, oh, every single household is fatherless and it's black women raising the kids. So if it's black women raising young men, who's teaching these young black men on how to call black women these names? Where are they getting this type of language from if the black man is not there? So, like I said, if we want to sit up there and put responsibility in places, we can clearly sit up there and do that. I have no problem with that. I'm an equal opportunist. Anybody can get it. I've literally done that on this in both on both platforms. It don't matter if you're a black man or a black woman, a black elder or a black child. It don't even matter. Anybody and everybody can sit up there and get it. So, like I said before, for people to have complaints is completely crazy to me. That just shows that a lot of people just like to pay attention to the stuff that they like to pay attention to. But the moral of everything that I'm saying is, if anybody out there in the black community, if you're a black man or a black woman, and you're having an issue finding a good black man or a good black woman, it's you. You got some fucked up energy somewhere. It's something inside of you that is not allowing you to be able to see and find the people in which you seek. It's not the world, it's not individuals, because how reality works is reality is going to give you what you truly seek in your heart. So maybe the point in time that you actually clear your heart of all of that jadedness, of all of that pain, of all of that sorrow, and all of that hurt, those blinders will actually come off, and you can actually see the people that's been in front of you the whole time that you've been looking over, and you've just been deciding to go back to the same types that have been hurting you all along. But like I said, when you just so happen to tell grown adults to fix themselves and stop being fucked up, people don't want to listen to that because everybody thinks that they know what's best for them. And this is why a lot of people still end up in fucked up situations and in fucked up situations, and their life is still in chaos. And they're asking God, why God? Oh, why God? Oh, why God? Oh, me. Why? Because you are in control of your life. It's not God, it's you. Like I said, I'm the type of person, and this is not even to like get like on some like religious type of like anything, right? Because I've had people call me like an atheist and all this other type of stuff, even though I've listed that I have a Christian, Baptist, Catholic, whatever background, right? Because I've been through different schools. The main thing that I took from church beyond anything else dealing with the Bible, this is the main thing that I took. You can believe in God as much as you want to. You can give God 100%. But if you're not willing to do the work that you're speaking of, if the same language that you speak is not the same action that you're walking, you're going to get ignored. God is not going to pay attention to that because there's no effort. Because there's no way in hell that you expect that, okay, God is going to sit up there and do all of this for me and da 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 da, and you're just sitting there on the couch, you're not doing nothing. Yo, God, is struggling out here. I need 3K real quick so I can buy me a hoopty. God just gonna be sitting up there looking at you like, all right, you say you need 3K, I'm listening. So let me flip the pages real quick. Let me see what you've been doing. Page 1, empty. Page 2, a little bit of something. Page 3 through 10, nothing, 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 nothing. So it's like you think that God is going to reward you for not doing shit, but sitting up there being lazy and just believing and catching the Holy Ghost. That's not how that works. My understanding of how God works is this. When you speak onto the universe consciously and with your all, and then you walk within that same talk and that consciousness that you put out, God will sit up there and respond. He will sit up there and look at you. He'll be like, all right, let me see what you've done. I see that you did about like 50% of the work, if not a little bit more. You know what? I got you. Sit down for a minute. I'm going to sit up there and handle the rest of this. I got you. You don't need to sit up there and walk no more. I got this. Don't do nothing else. That's how that gets handled. So don't sit up there and ask God, why ain't nothing working out for me? It's because you ain't working for yourself at the end of the day. You're not trying to love yourself. You're not trying to gain knowledge of self. You're not accepting of any of the wrongdoings or the responsibilities that you take on when you decide to go into a relationship. You're not even ready to correct yourself, let alone hear the corrections and the critiques that other people even have about you. So how do you expect that you as a human being should be ready or should be gifted with a person that is going to love you for you when you can't even do it for yourself? And let alone you can't even do it for God. So like I said, that's to all those people out there that always want to get super religious directly in the comment section all the time, writing scriptures. I don't never hear y'all sitting up there speaking on that. Y'all always want to talk about the scriptures. Y'all always want to talk about this. Y'all want to talk about that. But yet you can talk all you want about the scriptures. You can memorize the Bible back and forth, and you can know Yiddish and Hebrew and all this other type of stuff, but yet your life is still the same. Your life is still the same because there's still something within you that you still have not worked on for you to sit up there and receive what you should actually be receiving. Like I said, this is why I get tired of people sitting up there talking all religious. If you ain't sitting up here walking and living everything that you sitting up there talking about from the book, why am I listening? Why is anybody listening? If your life ain't 100%, why am I paying attention? Like I said, this is why I sit up there and say that it's not a one size fits all. Like I said, I believe differently. I move differently when it comes to religion and my beliefs. Like I said, and I just look at it as the way that I sit up there and move, in the way that things have basically worked out for me. That's how I'm going to sit up there and keep continuing, because obviously something must be going right. It might not be automatically 100%. I might not be specifically where I want to be, but what I wanted to sit up there and do, I am able to do. And this is why I'm able to sit up there and speak to you guys at this moment in time. This is why I was able to do 2 platforms, because I sat up there, I spoke into the universe what I wanted, and I walked within that same path, and I didn't falter no matter what happened. It didn't matter if people didn't believe in me. It didn't matter if people disagreed with me. It didn't matter any of that. I loved myself enough, and I supported myself enough, and believed in myself enough in order to sit up there and get to that point where God was like, I got you. Nobody else got you, but I got you. So like I said before, I'm just saying, that's all I'm saying. That's it. Like I said, I wasn't trying to sit up there and get on no, ultra religious, rant. Because like I said, I understand that some people are atheists or different things of that nature. Like I said, much love and appreciation and all respect to you. Whatever you believe in is whatever you believe in. I am not here at any point in time to try to get people to go to Jesus, to go to God. Nah, I'm not. Like I said, it's not a one size fits all. Whatever works for you is whatever works for you. Just make sure that it works for you. And if it ain't working, then maybe you might want to sit up there and start looking at something different. That's all I'm sitting up there saying. That's it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just want the love and the success of Black people, and I want Black people to be where they're supposed to be. That's it. That's what I want, at my core. I want to see Black people winning. I do. But I know that in order to see Black people win, sacrifices have to be made. And things are going to transpire, which I'm not going to like. Right? So, at a certain point in time in life, it's going to come to a point on if that is something that you really want. And if so, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to get that? Right. So we'll see. We will see. Like I said, I set up there. I spoke once and I was able to get what I wanted. So, at a certain point in time, I'm going to sit up there and speak the same way I spoke the very first time. And if I'm looking at this record, I should, in a sense, get what it is that, I'm hoping, I'm looking for, right? Which is the success of Black people, which is Black people coming together, which is the Black community, being on the podium that they should, be placed on, seeing Black love and, seeing unification, seeing, people coming together. I'm not sitting up there saying that, all Black people are really going to come. No, because everybody's not going to care. Every Black person don't want to unify with every other Black person. Case in point, look at families. All families aren't unified. You have a lot of people that don't want to be near other family members because that just is what it is. So, unification and everything that I'm talking about ain't for every single Black person. And I'm completely fine with that. I just want that for, the Black people that, that deserve it, that are working, that are, that they're doing everything possible to, speak into it and walk in that very same light. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm concerned about. And, those are the people that I legitimately care about, you know? So, uh, I don't know. I don't know. But we just need to do better. I think that seems to be like the very same message that I that I come down to whenever I happen to do these live streams. I just happen to come to that one main thing. But yeah, you know. So hopefully, over time, Black people will just get it together because I'm tired of a lot of stuff. And y'all heard me in a multitude of live streams go off on the Black community as a whole, and I did not care. I didn't care if you were in the chat talking about you as an individual or your family, whatever. Like I said, you already know I don't care. If I'm going to talk, I'm going to talk. I don't care if you get offended, however you feel. I'm going to sit up there and say exactly what is on my mind at the end of the day. Because realistically, if I'm not, in a sense, honest about stuff, I feel like I ain't shit. I feel like I'm not realistically, doing my job. Even to the few Black people that come through and support the platform and that watch the videos. I feel like if I'm not, in a sense, being full-fledged honest about how I feel about stuff, then I'm not doing my job the way that I'm supposed to be doing it. So this is why, you see me on a lot of cases. Like I don't falter when it comes to the points and the topics that I am really, really focused on. I'm like, nah, ain't nobody changed my mind on this. It is what it is. That is the clear cut, end result on it. It ain't no discussion. If you don't like what I'm saying, then you can clearly, go talk to Jesus. You whoever you kneel down to, you can go have that conversation with them because I'm not about to entertain it really because it ain't no use. You know. Um, Wait, gaming live stream. Who said that? Who said that? I never sat up there and said I never. Oh, that was Tibby that said that. I don't even know what today is. What is today? Today is Tuesday. Talking about a gaming live stream on Friday. Man, look here. I can barely get the live streams going as they are right now. Did I put out another video today? I'm trying to even remember. I think I did, but Yeah, I'm just trying to, keep track of the days. I mean, probably one day I could, sit up there and get back to, doing that. But like I told y'all before, this is the normalcy, and I'm going to tell you what it is. If I start talking about cryptocurrency, if I start talking about generational wealth, stuff like that, how to invest in stuff, if I start going to video games, views automatically drop immensely. We will go from what was just that we had 36. We had 34 now. Some couple people left out already. As soon as I even mentioned it, people left out. So it's like as soon as I do that, we're automatically at about like 15 people. Promise you, as soon as that happens, it's automatically 15 people. Because like I said, that it ain't what people in a sense come come here to see. You know, it ain't what people come here to really hear from me. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, no freedom said generational wealth. I am here. That is very awesome. Much love and appreciation. Like I told y'all before, I've been just trying to wrap my head around how to do those videos and different things of that nature. Because um, like I said before, doing videos like that, I don't know, it's iffy. Like I said, I'm happy. Like for me, I'm ecstatic. There's like it's realistically, it's a lot of stuff that I would love to actually talk about. But it's like I don't know. It's like when you're really ecstatic about something and then what's going to sit up there and take place, you're like, I might not do it. Right? Because it's roughly like the same old, when I happen to see the comments, right? You got people, bruh, I get you talking about money, but money is from the devil. That was made by Satan. It's the mark of the beast. Everything dealing with this in this current matrix in this system. It's like you're further pulling our people into a trap. And you're helping them never to sit up there and get out. By way of the white man. And I gotta put out a couple of scriptures real quick to recorrect you and put you on a correct path to God, because you're slipping right now by trying to teach our people on money and investing in generational wealth. So it's like it gets a little bit annoying, right? So that's why I technically have refrained from doing those videos. And oddly enough, when I don't do those videos, I don't really receive those comments. Very interesting. And then the same exact people that want to sit up there and try to correct me on stuff, they don't seem to be dropping all of that knowledge on all of the other videos that I just so happen to be doing. So it's like, you know, it sucks. But it is what it is. Oh, Pinky said I just brought Outlast trilogy on PS4. Okay. Also, if people don't know, dude, I know I got you as a moderator. Yeah, I do. So just in case people don't know, a lot of my moderators here are actually gamers, both male and female, and some of them do actually stream. Pinky does stream, but she streams when she actually has the time because Pinky works pretty hard. She works hard in these streets. You know, so hopefully, one of these days, like I said before, I got some stuff that I'm writing down and jotting. Um, I'll get those things together, and we will see, how a lot of things, will work out. You know, but yeah, it's a madhouse out here. It is a it is a 100% madhouse out here, and there is no captain at the wheel. No captain at the wheel. But we have officially hit that 2 hour mark. So just like the last live stream, I'm probably going to allow myself to decompress. Um, and you know what? You know what? I might just because Tippy says something, right? Just because Tippy says something. possibly, maybe during this week, maybe possibly during this week, I will just have like a live stream. I already know. I'm already expecting very low views because a lot of people are gonna be like, "Yo, I'm a grown adult. I don't play video games. I came here for news. What is this?" So I'm gonna put a note just down there for those adults that like to leave those comments, and I'll stream something. I'll stream me playing something. Right? It might be Elden Ring. Um, or I might stream Borderlands, the brand new Borderlands that came out, or something or rather, right? I'll stream something that's pretty much like up to date that would keep people's attention. You got the nerve to talk about not Tetris. I need you to get off the Sims. That's what I need you to do. I need you to I need you to get off that Sims. That game is about like 10 years old. That's tough out here. You should be on like Sim 16 right now. What you need to be playing is that they got a whole other type of Sims game, but I forgot exactly what it is. Um, I forgot. It was called like, was it high school? Was it college? I forgot what it was called, but it was one that had just recently came out. Pinky said, "I'm working from home, so I can watch." Hey, okay, okay. Hold on, whoa. Oh, hold on. So if you're working from home, that means you should be streaming a lot more often. A lot more often. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, you should be streaming a lot more often. That's the one. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something real quick. What we got? We got like 26 people right now. The moment in time, like I said, everything is not for everybody, but for the black people out here, right? The moment in time that ever that you can get a taste of working from home, I promise you, at that moment in time, you will never in your lifetime work another 9 to 5. I promise you. Y'all know how long I've been doing this. Y'all know how long I've been doing this. And as I've always stated to you guys before, I've been able to do this thanks to the love, respect, and appreciation from the community. Like rolling through, either donating, being a part of, like the Patreon, or buying some of the shirts or different things like that. Due to the love and the support from a lot of you guys, I'm able to do what it is that I'm able to do. And the main thing that I have, tried to stress to you guys is that I would love it, especially for, some of my moderators here, because I've had conversations with y'all before. We all talk about y'all jobs and different things like that. And I can hear the stress. I can hear I don't want to sit up there and do this job. I don't want to be here. I can directly hear it, whenever you guys happen to talk. And it's like, I understand that. I completely 100% understand that. So this is why I am a huge advocate for black people to go out there and to find something that they love. Right? Because the moment in time that you're doing something that you love, it's no longer considered work. It's just not. Like I said, I regardless of however stressed I may sound or however angry may sound on videos or live streams, I love doing what I do every single day. I do. I really do. And I hope it gets to a point where some of y'all can find something that it is that y'all love, and y'all can do it from home, and that you don't have to worry about a time schedule or a time clock, or worrying about sick days, or call outs, or potentially somebody firing you over some BS, or getting blamed at your job for nonsense, or having to worry about your supervisor trying to say all this other type of stuff. Like I said before, like I really do want the best for, black people. And also, this is not a jab or shot towards anybody that's working a 9 to 5, or holding down, 1 to 2 or 3 jobs. Like I said, much love and appreciation to you, because you're doing what I couldn't. You are 100% doing something that I couldn't. So don't let, what it is that I'm saying, in a sense, make it seem like you're doing something negative, because you're not. Like I said, everything ain't for everybody. right? A normal 9 to 5, that is not for me anymore because my energy is vastly different. You know, how I want to sit up there and move is vastly different. For you, you might be able to sit up there and make things shake and move. You might be at the point in time where you might be like a manager, or you might be this or that, or earning more money. So like I said, whatever is making you happy, even if that is a 9 to 5, keep doing that. Do, like I said, if that's what you love doing, do what you love doing, and be the best at it. Be the only one to do what it is that you are doing. Be the greatest of the greatest, so that can't nobody say anything directly negative about you like that, right? But what I'm gonna do here is Seji is gonna go back and decompress and do some stuff. Focus on some games, either cook some food or maybe order some food. you know, and just think about some stuff. And I will talk to you guys in either the next video or the next live stream, or or maybe both. So as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next live stream.